What up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice & Dragons, we are going to be reviewing Tapestry Arts and Architecture. This is the latest expansion for the game. It is designed by Jamey Stegmaier and Mike Young. Now, Julie's going to take it away and tell you a little bit more about the game itself, along with a public service announcement.
So this is a review copy, so we'd like to say thank you to Stonemaier Games for sending us the review copy, but we would like to remind our viewers that our opinion will remain our own, as always.
Yes.
So this is a competitive game, just like the original game for which it's an expansion. It is for 1 to 5 players, it is for ages 14 and above, and plays in about 90 to 120 minutes. I was about to say 60, but no, it's 90 to 120 minutes.
I think you could maybe play it 60. I think I've done it before, but only in solo mode. Definitely the moment you play with more players, you're definitely going into the 90 to 120 minutes. I think you can even clear that 120 easily just because of some strategic decisions. Now, once you master this game, I think the 120 is perfect because your individual turns can flow very quickly.
They can. Especially if you're planning out what you're going to do while the other person's playing.
Yes, and you should always be
doing
that.
So what do you do, Jason?
Well, there's one thing I want to mention first and foremost. This review copy took a lot longer to arrive than normal. We're really happy to have it. It was supposed to come out in November, but for those of you paying attention to what's going on in Canada, things are crazy. It just arrived, and we're getting it out to you as fast as we possibly could. So, if you're wondering why we have one, and some other people in Canada got theirs late as well, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Yes, I'm referencing something that we reviewed recently.
I was going to say that's not this game.
No. So, what are you doing in Tapestry? Well, you are trying to build the most powerful civilization, starting from a very early age. You will be advancing along different tracks from science, military, tech, exploration, and the brand new arts track. You'll be getting benefits and rewards based on your position on those tracks. You're going to advance through different eras, playing tapestry cards that represent the tapestry of your civilization, giving you special abilities when you take your income turn. So you will be having advancement turns and then ending on an income turn. All through that time, you're going to be building up your capital city, taking these little buildings that you have and putting them there, as well as taking some of the large buildings, not buildings, landmarks that you can gain and placing them in your city. You can also gain more civilizations. You can even go and explore space. You're going to be exploring the map, and you can even conquer as much of it as you would like, but there is a limit based on the amount of your little citadels that you have. Did I miss anything at all, Julie?
I think you got it covered.
Oh, no, I did miss something. You can also get masterpieces to give yourself some more special abilities. That's one of the new things. So,
and we have a couple of new civilizations.
Yeah, and the innovation track, but don't worry, we'll talk about that in full detail. I think some really new. It is a nice reward, but these are new. I think we talked enough about the game. What time is it, Julie?
Time to grab our drink.
Grab our best friend and fellow conqueror. Oh, hopefully conqueror, would-be conqueror. I don't know.
And we're going to take it to the table one more time.
One more time. I wonder who's going to win.
Me again.
Again? Now we're going to take a quick look at the components for the new Arts and Architecture expansion for Tapestry from Stonemaier Games. Now, I am going through these components before we've played the game because we've got our Tapestry all sleeved up, so I need to get these ready to mix in with the base game. So let's take a look at some of the stuff we've got off camera here. So we do have the new rulebook for the expansion. It's nice. It's only a few pages. Explains the masterpiece cards, the inspiration tiles, new tapestry cards, new tech, and then on the back, you have, the rules for the civilization adjustments, and then some clarifications for the new civilizations that we're going to take a look at in just a moment. Now, there are reference guides for Tapestry, so you get a new one that explains everything for the arts track, and then you've got the references on the back here for all of the new tech cards, and I like the feel of this. It's good quality, not too worried about it lasting long term. And then we have the new instructions for the 2-player Shadow Empire variant and the new rules for solo play, including the arts track. So we're talking a lot about the arts track, so let's just take a look at it. It's over here in the corner. So as you can see, new starting track, and then it's much like all the other tracks, 4 different eras with different rewards that you're going to get. You also do get some extra cubes for all of the different colors. Not going to pick them up. We don't need to take a look at them. We do have these landmark tokens for the arts and architecture track. I do believe that this is just to signify that they are available, and then you'll remove them once you've picked them up. Now, I don't remember these as being in the base game because we've yet to play the Plans and Ploys expansion. So you're now going up to a 20-sided dice for the science die. This replaces the D12 that you were using in base Tapestry. So here we've got the new masterpiece cards that you can see here. I think I've got these upside down a little bit. So you get the rewards, and definitely, like I said, I need to refresh myself on the rules for the masterpiece cards. We have these that spun around. That was kind of cool. We've got these landmark cards, and these I believe were introduced in Plans and Ploys. Or they also just give the details of how you can place them. So these are cool. We definitely need those. Just some more references for challenge level and rules for the solo mode here with the level 4, level 2, and rules for the new civilizations and the benefits. With regards to playing the game solo or with the Shadow Empire, we have a new era tile which will go on your main board for era 1, and now I believe that this has to do probably with one of the new civilizations here. We do have some new tapestry cards, as you can see, commercial center, found art, government grants. Now we're not going to go through all of these. We'll let these be surprises for you to discover. Always like to get some new stuff. Then we have more Shadow Empire cards that you'll be adding in, as this will now include the arts and architecture track. Not sure if these replace the cards or if they're just additional cards that are added to the game. Here we've got the new tech that you can see here. So like Astrolab, automation, calculus, jet fuel, microphone. I'm just trying to see if we've got any of them that give us landmarks, suburbs, war college. So there's a lot of landmarks. I'm not quite sure how they're all going to come into play. Maybe some of them are in the masterpiece cards or the tapestry cards, but really like the look of them once again. So we've got these new inspiration tracks. Now I do believe they replace some of the other tracks on your board. We're not going to look at them in a ton of detail, just so you can see them right here. So symbology, language, writing, telephone, email, and neural implants. So each of these, I believe, replaces that track that you had on the original board. And don't worry if you're wondering, are there enough for all the players? I got a bunch of them right here. So as you can see, we have plenty of them. Now we've just about taken a look at everything, but we still want to take a look at the landmarks and the new civilizations. So you get the collectors, renegades, urban planners, gamblers, and relentless. Then we've got some new capital cities. These are advanced capital cities: the archipelago, canyon, cavern, cloud city. I'm curious how this works. The mesa and the swamp. Now for a review, I believe we're going to be using just the new stuff, so we can cover specifically what was included in the expansion. Let's just take a look at all the landmarks. We've got a windmill here. Looks pretty cool. I love the detail. I love how everything is painted, and such a great price for this expansion when you consider all the detail that we get. So another cool building. Like I said, really curious how all of these are going to be coming into play. I love the fact that there's a castle. I'm not going to lie. I want this in my city. Got a nice little townhouse villa. Got a hut here. It's like a pumpkin hut. Looks pretty cool. Then we've got, it's like a treehouse fort. Makes me think of Robinson Crusoe. And then lastly, we've got a bridge. So there you have it. We've taken a look at all the components for arts and architecture. Now keep it right here, as Julie and I will be coming back at you with a review of this expansion. So Julie, Tapestry, it's back on the table. We're playing arts and architecture. We skipped over Plans and Ploys, but don't worry, we'll get that to eventually. Sorry, that was bad. 3, 2, 1. So Julie, Tapestry, it's back on the table. We skipped over Plans and Ploys. Don't worry, that one's coming in the future. Hopefully this year, if we get the time. Love to play this game, add more players. for you today. It is Arts and Architecture, as you can see on the box. What did you think of this expansion for Tapestry? A game that, if I'm not mistaken, you liked it a lot more than you expected to.
Yeah, well, it is a competitive game, and this was one of a series of competitive games that came in right around the same time. They kind of surprised me a little bit because they have the right combination, I would say, or the right level of competition, so that we're not really in your face. You're not attacking the other person. You can block a little bit, but it's more about playing your own game, and that's been a lot of fun. So
I would say this: blocking is usually fairly strategic, and if you're blocking someone, it's because it's advantageous for you. It's not blocking for the sake of, I'm not getting any points and I'm going to put this person at a disadvantage. It's usually because I want those points first.
Yeah. So the addition of the arts track, to me, is a lot of fun. It actually adds more opportunities, more landmarks that, we both like.
I mean, people can see our capital cities right here. This is after our last game. We really like our landmarks.
We definitely do. So it's fun to
have.
there's
some over there. I wish we'd gotten those too.
It's nice to have the additional card that gives you an option to get another landmark. That's a lot of fun.
Also, the new masterpiece cards that go along with the arts track are very cool and add some cool opportunities to get points or even take extra actions. Like, I had the one here, the topiary with conquering empty spaces. So, as you can see, I've got lots of territory on the board.
Yeah, I was getting victory points for every tapestry card, so that was good as well. So I mean, I like the additional the dynamic of adding an extra track and the opportunity. I keep looking around the corner at it. The opportunities that you get from it. So that's a lot of fun. As for the different capital cities, I was going to say that we get. They're a little more complicated. They're a little bit harder, I find, than the original ones. So that adds another little challenge, I find.
Yeah, I really like the new, the advanced capital cities because you can score points in different ways. You get some cool abilities, and it adds a very nice little bit of asymmetry into the game. And it's something that is quite easily excluded. You can stick with the original capital cities if you so choose. It's also the architecture aspect, well, that, and I think potentially the civilization that I was playing in the last game, the urban planners. It adds that architecture to the box. And I really did enjoy the fact that they're all different. They had different strategies. And the swamp one is interesting, though. I'm not so sure I feel about that one, where you can lose victory points if you don't cover all of the leaves. I'm not quite sure I saw the value in that one yet, but we're only really, getting through the tip of the iceberg so far with this expansion.
Yeah, so, I mean, the different civilizations, I had collector here, so, as per the name, you collect one of everything. It's a different dynamic. I mean, when you pick up the item that you put on your card, you don't actually get to put the resource or get the benefit from the resource. You just get to keep it on the card, which will give you victory points at the end of the game. But the added advantage is you gain a resource. So that was good. It offset, taking these things, because obviously I wanted to hit the 6 different maximum number of items so that I could get the 21 victory points. Now, the thing is, in a 2-player game with the 2-player cards that we had, even though I collected all 6 items, I can only get a maximum of 21. You didn't get all of your items, and you still had more points than me.
I did actually get all 7 of my items. I just was not able to connect them together. And you may notice here we were not playing with the Shadow Empire. Just to clarify, we have played with the Shadow Empire before. We do enjoy playing with the Shadow Empire, but we really just wanted to have an experience where it was just the two of us going head to head and seeing what we can do. Also, we got a lot more landmarks this way, so for us, it suited more the play style that we were looking for. So yes, I was playing the urban planners, and if I could get 6 landmarks all linked together, and as you can see, I've got this nice chunk right here. I couldn't quite get the 7th in there. Julie got the last 4 landmark, and I was going to go for it, but I couldn't quite make it up the track. I was able to score 36 points, and if I'd gotten that extra landmark, or maybe just position things a little differently, even gone all the way up to 49 points. So there definitely does seem to be some points in the game that could be imbalanced. Other civilizations seem to be very challenging, like this was the Urban Planners. I did play Relentless as my first civilization. I definitely made some mistakes starting out, but it's really difficult to get them going and scoring those points the way that you need to. However, I think if you can figure them out and you can probably at multiple times essentially score 15 extra victory points, they'd be one of the strongest civilizations that you can play. You also get a whole bunch of other things with it as well, but to use them you have to place an income building or a landmark in your city, and then you keep you keep track as to how many times you've done that. When you don't do it, you score X amount of points and get other rewards based on where you're at. Not easy to do at all.
So it's a different. It adds a little bit of a different dynamic, but it definitely is still the same game. So if you enjoyed it, this just offers a couple more fun new tweaks, makes it fresh again. I would say if you've been playing a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that they did very well compared to Plans Employees, because we found a few Plans Employees things that I'd accidentally mixed in and I wasn't able to take out, is that all the stuff is labeled, so very easy to take in and out of the game. I'm not quite sure if the Tapestry cards were labeled, though. We did get some new ones, and I don't know really how to comment about them too much because I actually don't know. Actually, no, I have one right here, Age of Enlightenment. I really liked it. So new Tapestry cards are good, but you don't get a ton of them. So it's hard for us to give a lot of commentary on that based on the amount of plays that we have currently. Now, there is a new type of tech, which I don't think Julie and I really like. Neither of us went for it. You have to put a landmark on the tech in order to upgrade it. You get some cool benefits. But I never really saw the benefit of placing a landmark on the tech in order to be able to get it to the point where it was worthwhile. I'd rather have the landmark in my city.
Agreed.
So that's just kind of where we went with that. And I'm just trying to think if there was another point that, but oh yes. And I'll let you take it away because I think you actually got more of them than me. The innovation.
Oh, yes. So you can upgrade, like here when you hit the symphony, you get to upgrade one of your tracks.
And then also again at CGI animation.
Yeah, so basically you can pick whichever track you want. Obviously the one that you're furthest along on the income track makes the best sense. Just checking if it was the same thing on both sides, and it is. So basically it just gives you added benefits. So definitely worthwhile. I mean, you get 15 victory points when you complete one of the income tracks. So that's definitely...
And you can even get them from rewards like innovation. We've got one of the tech cards there that would let you do it. So there are ways for you to get multiples of them, and it can be a big difference maker towards the end, especially when you're comparing just some of the locations, the extras they get. First, you get an extra 5 victory points, extra 2 victory points. If you can do it early on in the game, well, you're going to be getting all those victory points through to the end. And as we saw, like in this last game, the gap is about 20 points or so, maybe a little bit more, and that's not that much. Like 1 or 2 different decisions, or if Julie, for example, I luckily had a trap card and was able to keep her from conquering the center, she conquered the center and wouldn't have been that much different for me. I might have lost 2 points, but she'd be 10 points further along the track. So the game does keep things really tight and really close. I also think that's one of the reasons why we like playing this game, is that we have a good time, and every time we're playing the game, we're fairly close together. Yeah,
I mean, the first time we played, I thought I was so far behind, and I'm like, I forgot, because we hadn't played in a while, I forgot, and I thought, is there even any point in continuing this game? And in the end, I ended up beating you, just because at the end, that's how you can come from behind when you're scoring in your end phase. So, it's part of the fun of this game.
Yeah, and I want to just say, in terms of the component quality, everything is great. Everything fits. Once again, you've got some really nice looking landmarks, high quality. This got a great price point for the fully painted miniatures that you're getting. That add a lot to the table presence of the game, especially as you can see with our capital cities. And
I want that orange and red building next time. I want to try to find a way to get that.
Got to get all the way, I think it got knocked all the way up here on the track. So we have to go all in on the arts track, which neither of us have actually done yet. You get the new 20-sided die. So Everything is fantastic and up to the same high standards that Stonemaier Games has kept, and very reasonable price for the expansion, this dimension once again. And the art, everything matches, everything looks good. So they've really kept some nice consistency, and unlike you see in some expansions, where cards may be discolored, not the case with this. Everything looks exactly the same. Well, maybe not exactly, but 99.9% the same. You cannot tell the difference. I think we've talked enough about the Arts and Architecture expansion.
I was going to say,
anything to add?
No, I was going to say, what's your score?
So I think this is a great expansion. I think this expansion actually makes me like the game even more. I didn't think that was possible. I don't remember exactly what score we gave it in the past, but I had more fun with this. Maybe it was also taking out the Shadow Empire, so there wasn't this bot snagging the landmarks that I wanted. But I give this an 8. I think this is solid. This is definitely growing into, I think, one of our favorite competitive games. And I'm speaking a little for you there, but something one of my favorite competitive games, something that I would take out at game night, and something that I actually think once we get back to it will be something that we probably take out for doing weekly game night, like once a month.
Yeah, he's not exaggerating. He kept saying, I forgot how much I like this game. I really like this game. I should have gone first because then it wouldn't look like I'm copying you. But I'm also giving this an 8. I don't remember what I gave Tapestry, but I do enjoy this, and I do like the arts track and all the additions that come in this expansion. I think it elevates the game a little bit more and makes it even better. So I definitely think that it's worth the get. It's a must-have, I think, if you have Tapestry and you enjoyed it, to do this. So that's our rating?
Yep, that's our rating. And I agree with you. I do think it's also a must-have. It is perfectly priced to add to the collection without breaking the bank. Now, we haven't played Plans and Ploys because that focuses largely on a solo campaign. It does have some cool elements. So we'll have to see. I think I need to try to find the time to play through it solo before we do the review so I can have some commentary on that.
So it's time to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we have some new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. You'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you'd like to see pictures of Julie and I playing the original Tapestry or Arts and Architecture, there will be plenty on those feeds. Also down there is a link to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store. Click that link, you'll get 10% off your next purchase, and it's a great way to support the channel as a portion of that purchase will be returned to us. So if you're looking for Arts and Architecture, that's a little bit of a mouthful when you say it fast, or Tapestry, make sure to check them out. And now popping up in front of us are going to be links to some of our previously released videos. In front of me is going to be our most recent release, and in front of Julie will be a link that'll take you back to our review and how to play of Tapestry. So on that note, we need to
grab our drink.
We'll grab our fellow conqueror.
And we're going to keep playing games.
Keep playing games. Keep playing this one. I'm really looking forward to playing it again, especially with some more people.